You're on.
What is a political pastor? Well, shortest answer I can give is me. I thought I was an original, but there are becoming many political pastors. I said at the beginning of Obama's first year in office in 2008, not 2006 like I stated in Facebook, I said that the role of a pastor has changed forever. And that's true, and many pastors now are joining in, as I'll show you here, political pastors. The Washington Post reporting this says political pastors openly defy IRS rules on candidate endorsements. Now, you know, for years the pastors of America has sold themselves out for the bottom line of a few dollars of reserve tax money, and quite truthfully the IRS has become negligent of the law concerning this matter, because our First Amendment Constitution says Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion or prohibiting the free exercise thereof. They are not allowed to interfere through any kind of means. No tax breaks, no anything, no nothing. They're not allowed to inflict a tax. They're not allowed to inflict a rule. They're not allowed to inflict anything other than what our Constitution lays out right here. And you know something, people says, what if people start killing in religion? Well, that's not our religion. This Constitution was written for Christians, and it coincides with Christians, and it flows perfectly with who we are. And listen to this. This is how it goes, okay? Galatians 5. I want to start at verse 16 and read down to where it says, against such there is no law. Okay, and this is why this was put into our Constitution, First Amendment. You know, the very next part of that says freedom of press. It's in the very same line. It's in the very same line. Freedom of press. You know, the press should be screaming when people come out against a religious establishment, because next in line is them. Okay, Galatians 5:16. This I say, walk in the Spirit. Now this is important. If you listen to this closely, it's very important, because it's the foundation. This right here is the foundation of our First Amendment. It's where it came from. It's why it's there. It's the reasoning of it. And when you shake this reasoning, then you destroy that First Amendment, freedom of press. It says, walk in the Spirit, and ye shall not fulfill the lust of the flesh. Verse 17. For the flesh lusts against the Spirit, and the Spirit against the flesh. And these are contrary one to another, so that you cannot do the things that you would. It's laying the foundation for why these freedoms are important. Okay, so listen up. Verse 18. But if you be led of the Spirit, ye are not under the law. You hear that? If you're led under the Spirit, you're not under the law. Now the works of the flesh are manifest, which are these: adultery, fornication, uncleanness, lasciviousness, adultery, witchcraft, hatred, variance, emulations, wrath, strife, seditions, heresies, envyings, murders, drunkenness, revilings, and such like. And such like. Didn't mention them all. There's a bunch there, but it didn't mention all of them, okay? Of the which I tell you before, as I have also told you in time past, that they which do such things shall not inherit the kingdom of God. Okay, that's verse 21. Shall not inherit the kingdom of God. This is why it's saying these things. This is a laid foundation of righteousness. The church is the laid foundation of righteousness. Jesus says, I am the way, the truth, and the life. No man comes unto the Father but by me. A foundation of truth is He. And this truth that we have is the foundation of all of our righteousness, all of our right to do that in which is good beyond measure. Verse 22. But the fruit of the Spirit is love, joy, peace, long-suffering, goodness, faith, meekness, and temperance. Against such there is no law. Okay, against such there is no law. This is why it's saying, the Congress shall make no law concerning a Christian religious establishment. Some religions, so-called religions, are not religions at all. They're terrorist activity. We need to get Congress to get their heads out of their butt and have a little bit of common sense about what religion our Constitution is talking about. Our Constitution is not talking about every religion that just popped up on the face of the planet. They can make 3 or 4 others tomorrow. How they need to skin people and hang them out to dry and eat human flesh. And is it talking about that religion too? Of course not. Supreme Court, listen, if you want to do something, determine what religion this is talking about. When the Constitution says religion, it does not mean all religions, obviously. It means this religion right here. This religion where love is concerned, there is no law. Why? Because love crosses no line of hurt. Never. Love never crosses a line of hurt. It will cross many lines of the oncoming onslaught of the enemy to protect its own. It has done it many times in the past and is being called murderous for it. Let atheists tell you about what they think of Christians. You'll get what I mean. Simple stuff, folks. This is simple stuff. But be like Trump. He said the other day, okay, I'm going to start over very slowly and tell me where I lose you on this. You know? Sometimes I go a little fast, I know. But, okay. If we live in the Spirit, let us walk in the Spirit. Let us be not desirous of vainglory, communists, provoking one another, envying one another. This is simply what a political pastor is. And we have, you know, there is no such thing as freedom of church because of government. No, 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 no. There is no such thing. The church is free from the beginning. From the very beginning of the United States, the church is free. Listen, there should be a pastor in every government building overseeing everything. A pastor, a local pastor needs to be chosen from every local town to go in and make sure that the government is being run godly. There is no such thing as separation of church and state. Why? Because all those men in the beginning were Christian. The original idea, you know, if you get a pastor and he oversees government proceedings, there will be no dishonesty. Why? Because there is no hurt. Love has no hurt. It protects both sides. Love has no hurt. It protects both sides. Love has no desire to see its enemies suffering. Has no desire to see its enemies suffering. Love. I don't say Americans. I don't say Jews. I don't say the foundation of this or that. I'm saying love has no desire to see its enemies suffer. As a matter of fact, the Bible tells us when we laugh at our enemy, God turns toward their side. Don't laugh at your enemy. That's a test I have fought for years when my enemy falls. Okay? So, and I would like to recruit 144,000. It was just a thought I had yesterday. I would like to recruit 144,000 political pastors around the world. I would do that if God gives me the ability, but I would like to do that. 144,000 political pastors who believe this chapter right here in the Bible. Now, if you feel that God has called you to do this, and you go over and you read Galatians 5, starting at verse 16, read that. And if you feel that you can hold that up righteously before God, you know, write to me. Alrighty, God bless. Thank you for joining. We'll see you next time. Another great message right here, Crossing the Middle Ministry. 144,000.